Arsenal vs Burnley prediction, team news, lineups. A Manchester City reunion will take place at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday, as Mikel Arteta's Arsenal take on Vincent Kompany's Burnley in the Premier League. Both sides are seeking redemption for respective losses last weekend, as the Gunners' unbeaten streak came to an end at Newcastle United, while the Clarets set an unwanted record in a 2-0 reverse against Crystal Palace. Match preview. Refereeing controversy once again threatened to overshadow an Arsenal fixture in midweek, as the Gunners witnessed Sevilla's Nemanja Gudelj make 3 challenges in quick succession without so much as a booking from the referee, who offered Bukayo Saka little protection on the right flank. However, the perennially targeted England winger shook off another spate of tackles to find Leandro Trossard for the opening goal of Wednesday's Champions League tie, before curling home a fine finish in the second half to put Arsenal on the brink of last 16 qualification, which they only need another point to rubber stamp. A dominant display in Europe was the perfect tonic to back-to-back domestic defeats for Arsenal, whose EFL Cup journey was brought to a halt by West Ham United before Newcastle's Anthony Gordon survived 3 VAR checks to inflict the Gunners' first top-flight loss of the season upon them. Although both Arteta and Arsenal had some choice words for the PGMOL after several debatable calls went against them, Arsenal had the chance to rise to top spot at St James Park, but they instead find themselves down in 4th place after 11 matches, 3 points adrift of new leaders Manchester City, but the hosts head into the weekend having won each of their last 3 home games with 3 clean sheets in tow. A welcome sight after last year's defensive deficiencies at the Emirates. Furthermore, none of Arsenal's last 37 home games against newly promoted teams has seen the Gunners suffer defeat. The hosts have 32 wins and 5 draws to show from that stellar sequence, but Burnley will certainly welcome a weekend away from their cursed Turf Moor base. A new chapter of Premier League history was written during Burnley's clash with Crystal Palace last weekend, and it is not one that Vincent Kompany will look back on too fondly, as Eagles veteran Roy Hodgson became the latest coach to outwit his more youthful counterpart. Twice Burnley lost the ball close to their own goal, and twice they were punished for it as Jeffrey Schlupp tapped home before left-back Tyrick Mitchell arrived in the penalty area to seal the deal, seeing the Clarets become the first ever Premier League team to lose each of their opening 6 home games of a season. Kompany's side were not without their own opportunities in the final third, but a combination of wastefulness and the gloves of Sam Johnstone kept the hosts out throughout the 90 minutes, leaving them 19th in the standings and only above Sheffield United on goal difference. While Kompany wants his team to employ an aggressive, attack-minded style of play, a paltry tally of 8 goals is the worst offensive record in the top flight of English football. But they can take a sliver of comfort from the fact that all 4 of their points this season have come on the road. The Clarets have also managed to avoid defeat in each of their last 2 trips to the Emirates Stadium and have only been beaten in one of their last 5 meetings with Arsenal in the Premier League. But having shipped 8 goals in 3 successive away losses since October 21st, the omens are against Kompany's men once more. Team news. Gunners witnessed the all-too-familiar sight of Saka limping off the field towards the end of Wednesday's win over Sevilla, as the England international appeared to jolt his ankle as he landed after a jump, but Arteta does not believe that his star winger has sustained a serious problem. The same can be said for Takahiro Tomiyasu, who came off at the break after reporting discomfort, but Arteta has conceded that Edin Nketiah ankle and captain Martin Odegaard hip are facing races against the clock to prove their fitness for the weekend's game. None of Emile Smith-Rowe knee, Gabriel Jesus hamstring, Jurriën Timber knee or Thomas Partey muscle will be available for a decimated Arsenal team either, and with Alexander Zinchenko primed and ready to return, Arteta should see no reason to risk Tomiyasu unnecessarily. As for Burnley, midfield fulcrum Josh Cullen is eligible to play again following his suspension for an accumulation of yellow cards, but no fewer than 5 players are set to miss out through injury or illness for the basement battlers. Manuel Benson ankle, Aaron Ramsey knock, Michael Obafemi hamstring and Amin Al-Dakhil knock are all in the care of the medical team, while Lyle Foster is absent due to mental health reasons. Cullen's return could tempt Kompany into sacrificing an attacker in order to beef up his midfield at the Emirates, with Jay Rodriguez at risk of the axe if the Burnley boss opts for a more conservative setup. Arsenal possible starting lineup: Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Havertz, Jorginho, Rice, Saka, Trossard, Martinelli. Burnley possible starting lineup: Trafford, Roberts, O'Shea, Bayer, Taylor, Goodmanson, Berga, Brownhill, Cullen, Koleosho, Amdouni. We say, Arsenal 2-0 Burnley. Teams that try to attack Arsenal often fare worse than teams who sit back and absorb Gunners' pressure throughout the 90 minutes. And it will be fascinating to see if Kompany is willing to compromise his principles in the hope of holding out for a point. Midweek fatigue and fresh knocks will also work against the Gunners, who have enjoyed little success in this fixture over the past few years, but Arteta's men ought to find their way through a leaky Burnley defense eventually as they enter the international hiatus on a high. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.